Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 10:22 p.m. and I just dropped off Tanya Jean. We went to our meeting tonight, our home group meeting. It was the first time that we have gone to a in-person meeting. Is it out of focus? I cannot tell. Is it out of focus already? I'm gonna be so mad if it's out of focus. It was out of focus, I think. Anyway, it was the first time that we had gone to an in-person meeting since March, which is crazy. I got real emotional going inside, trying to pull out my lip balm and stuff in here. Anyway, I got real emotional going in because, so we walked in and Tanya was like, I think that it's required that they wear everybody wears masks. And she said, if we go in and they don't have masks on, I don't want to go in. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So we went in and everybody had masks. And there was probably, well, there's 10 people in my group and 10 people in the other group. So everybody had masks on, and because we got there like right at 8 o'clock. And I guess there was 20 people total. And then they also had the like a tablet or an iPad set up, and they were Zooming the meeting, so that people that are at home can participate, you know, from a Zoom call. So it's still partly Zoom, partly in person. And so everybody was sitting like 10 feet apart, but I was sitting there, you know, and to see these people that I've known for 25 and a half years, some of them, and, you know, we're sitting around. Some of these guys in their 80s that I've known for 25 and a half years, you know, that have been there since the very beginning for me. And there we are, you know, with our masks on. And I'm like, this is like, it was very cool to me. It was like the power of recovery, that recovery exists through all of this, you know. And there were some newcomers, and to hear their stories of getting sober right now and through everything that's going on, you know, and I don't know, it was just I just felt so filled spiritually when I left there tonight, and just very proud and happy to be a person of recovery, you know. And we took our friend home afterwards, and Tanya and I were talking about like all of the gifts that come as a result of being sober, you know. We were talking about like, Tanya was talking about like, you know, being a parent, and that like Nick he doesn't remember her like drinking and stuff, you know, from back in the day. And I was saying, you know, that I tell all these stories about growing up in a toxic environment, that my mom was drinking, and that there was a lot of chaos in my home when I was growing up, which is true. But my mom getting sober, and I tell all those stories, you know, I do. I talk about that a lot, you know, not just on my vlog, but like in my life as well, with my friends and, you know, in meetings and things, but because that's my story and that's my experience. But my mom getting sober and our relationship after, you know, and she didn't get sober till I was almost 23 years old. You know, her sobriety birthday was June 2nd. So she was like less than a month shy of my 23rd birthday, and when she got sober, and she was 51. And one of the reasons why I tell people that is, you know, it's never too late. Like, she was 51, and I've known guys that like are like, one of my friends just celebrated a couple years, like 3 years, and he got sober like in his 60s, you know, and he's one of the coolest guys I know, and just one of the best people I know. And never give up on somebody getting sober, and never give up on the idea that it's too late for you, you know. Like, I think with the baby boom generation and things like that, we're seeing older and older people come into meetings. We're also seeing a lot of young people come into meetings now, you know, because it's more comfortable for them, and there's more young people. So it's not like when I got sober, there weren't really a lot of young people in meetings. There was, you know, a handful of us all over town, and, you know, that we would see each other at meetings. But I wasn't really friends in that group, you know, until I met Tanya. I didn't really have a lot of friends in recovery, except for the this friend of mine, that she got sober right after I did. Because, so I was in treatment over New Year's, and she called me on treatment on New Year's Eve, and she was drunk. And I said, you know, like, I'm in a treatment program, right? And she was a very dear friend of mine, and not a wild partier or anything, you know, like, she was a very hard worker, got great grades in school, double major, and she lived in a small town, and she worked for her dad and his business, and she would come home and she would get a 6-pack of beer, and that's what she would drink, you know, but it would get her drunk. And she was small, like, she like didn't weigh a lot, and I think she's like 5'2" or something like that. So a 6-pack of beer would get her drunk, you know, and she did that every night. And she called me on New Year's Eve, and she was at home by herself, and I said to her, I said, you know, like, I'm in treatment, right? And so January 1st is actually her sobriety birthday. She's been sober as long as I have. And so she and I hung out a lot together, but then she ended up going out of town to get her master's degree. So she moved away. So after that, I didn't really have any friends other than people that I had friends I would see at meetings, be like, hey, how are you? But like, there weren't a lot of people other than like my sponsor and stuff that I did things with, like go to, you know, Perkins or Denny's after a meeting, you know. I just didn't have a lot of that until I met Tanya and started hanging out with, you know, people that Tanya sponsored and her sponsor and things like that, and that little group that they all hung out with. And that's when I started going to my home group that I'm in now. So, you know, and that was 23 and a half years ago, because I was 2 years sober when that happened. But, you know, I tell all these stories about my mom, and I talk about, you know, like, how chaotic it was and whatever. You know, 2 things that I do about my mom on here is that, number one, I don't talk enough about her sobriety. I talk more about that. And I think it's because, you know, those are the stories of my childhood, which I tell. But, like, my mom getting sober means 100 times more to me than anything that ever happened when I was growing up. Like, I've long ago forgiven her for that. And, you know, she did the best even at that time in her active addiction, and she was a great mother. But there was a lot of craziness that happened. But when I got older, it was like, and she got sober, it was like, I mean, my mom still had a lot of issues, but the reality is, like, she was a great, I mean, Tanya said that to mine. She was like, your mom was a great mom to you, you know, like, I was talking to somebody the other day about, like, you know, my mom dated, like, when I was growing up, like, but she would never bring a guy around unless it was, like, a long-term relationship. Well, she didn't have any long-term relationships, so she never brought any guys around. I mean, I don't really remember my mom. I mean, I found out later, like, when I was in high school, people would say things to me, but, like, I didn't hear anybody. I didn't know, like, I wasn't aware of that, because my mom was, like, so hardcore about, like, I'm not going to bring people in and out of my kid's life that are going to be there for a month and then they're gone. Like, she was really adamant about that, and had rules set with my dad too. Like, I don't want him just, like, meeting a girlfriend that you date for 3 weeks and then she's out of his life. Like, I don't want Peter getting attached to somebody and then they're gone. And so for my dad, I didn't either. Like, you know, I met my dad's, like, I knew his first girlfriend and then my stepmom, and that was it. Like, and then this one girl that he dated that he met in the Canadian Rockies, but that was just because she was visiting and staying with him. And I was probably 12 at that point. Well, no, I would have been younger than that, 10. It was right before he started dating my stepmom. But if it hadn't been for the fact that she was staying here because she was backpacking across the world, I would never have met her. So yeah, 3 people, you know, like, because my mom was real adamant about that. And, you know, I look at all of that and I think recovery gave my mom and I a relationship that we never would have had. I can't even imagine, like, what it would have been like if we were still, like, drinking. Like, we would never have had any relationship. I would have drank all through her funeral. I would have never been able to be present when she was in the hospital. I would never have been, you know, I just wouldn't have been able to do all that stuff. And it was you know, and it was a privilege to be there through all that, to be able to suit up and show up and be there for all of that. And I know that sounds crazy. Oh, it's a privilege to be by your mom when she's dying. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And it's a privilege that I got to be there with her for the 3 months leading up to that, you know? And, because I was unable to function. I just, you know, Tanya and I were telling some funny stories on the way home, but I didn't function. I wasn't, you know, you talk about people that are high functioning alcoholics, which I don't love that word, because when people say that, it's like, well, I was a high functioning alcoholic, or, you know, like my husband, or my, you know, the dad is, or my mom or wife or whatever is a high functioning alcoholic. I'm not really sure what that means, like, because if you're an alcoholic or you're an addict and it's affecting people's lives around you, how high functioning are you? Like, if the people in your life are aware of it and like it's affecting them, then like probably you're not that high functioning, you know what I mean? Like, but that's just my 2 cents about it, whatever. Like, if somebody needs to say that, they need to say it. I don't judge that, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't get it. But I wasn't. I mean, I was not. I was, you know, they talk about low bottom, you know, alcoholics and addicts. That was me. Like, I had hit almost bottom. And I know my bottom, looking back on it, is death. I know that for a fact, you know, that, and I don't think I hit my bottom. I think I chose my bottom. But I know that looking back, my bottom was death. That was the thing I was going to say. It was my first thing is that I, you know, in talking about my mom, I talk a lot about, like, the old days, but I don't talk a lot about the sober days, you know, the countless nights that all the fun nights that we would have, like after she went to a meeting and I went to a meeting, and I'd come over to her house and have a cup of coffee, and we'd sit there and talk about, like, oh my God, like, we were talking about, you know, like, resentments, or, you know, making amends, or grace, or, you know, whatever, and we would sit there and have conversations about what our feelings were about those things. You know, I'm so thankful for that. My mom and I spoke the language of recovery, you know, together. We had that, you know, in any situation that family-wise that we had to go into where there was drinking, we always had each other, you know, and I don't talk a lot about that, and I don't talk a lot about the proud moments that, you know, I had with sharing, you know, sobriety birthdays, and just really cool things, you know, that, I don't know, was something that we bonded over, you know. And I think it's kind of weird, you know, maybe that we bonded over recovery, but like, I know a lot of families now that, you know, like, fathers and sons, and mothers and daughters, and, you know, husbands and wives that are sober together, and it's amazing, you know. I just think it's amazing. And sobriety saves lives, you know. Being in recovery saves lives. Getting sober saves lives. It saves relationships sometimes, you know. Not always, but sometimes. And but the other thing is that, you know, like, I sometimes saint my mother and talk about, like, how wise she was and how great she was, which she was, like, she really was. But I mean, my mom was a very wise person. She was very intelligent. She was very intellectual. She had a lot of fantastic traits. But my mom had a lot of, like, she was a very fearful person. Very, very, very fearful. And I don't talk a lot about that on here, you know, about, like, how scared she would get over small things, you know, and how I had to kind of be the caretaker of that in my life, because I didn't really understand it, you know, or like my mom didn't like to be on elevators or escalators. Those were 2 things. Anything that she wasn't in control of, my mom had huge issues with, which, you know, probably goes back to stuff in her childhood, you know. And but I think it's important to talk about those things as well, to talk about, yes, my mother was intelligent, she was an activist, and she was, you know, believed in world change and human rights and civil rights and all of that kind of stuff, but at the same time, she was a very fearful person, you know, and it drove people around her crazy. You know, like my aunt, myself particularly, you know, I can remember for our 60th birthday when we went to Chicago, my ex and my cousin and my aunt, Caroline and my aunt, we all went up there, and they were staying in a room. So it was my ex and I in a room, and then we stayed in the W on Lakeshore, and then it was my mom and my aunt and my cousin staying in another room. And like, while my mom was getting ready, my aunt and my cousin had like left the room or something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe they were in the room taking a nap or something, I think. And we were gonna go walk around, like, cause my mom loved to just walk. She used to live in Chicago, you know, like my dad worked in downtown Chicago at Cook County Hospital when he was doing his medical residency, because my dad did his medical residency through Northwestern, and my mom worked at the Northwestern Library. And so then, you know, like, she loved Chicago, and she loved the old Drake Hotel and stuff, to go like walk in there. And so I wanted to take her there, and I wanted, you know, for her birthday, I wanted to walk around Oak Street and, you know, and Walnut Street, and I wanted her to like be able to go on the lake and see the beach and stuff. She would not take the elevator down to meet us. She's like, oh, no, you have to come pick me up. And I'm like, what? Like, why won't you take the elevator down? She's like, well, what if somebody gets in there and they hurt me? Like, she would not take the elevator by herself down. I mean, it was literally like 5 floors. I was like, okay, so we had to go up, and my ex was like, let's just go get her. I was like, okay, so we went up there and got her. She was very fearful, you know. I can remember I was over at my friend's house when I was in high school, and my mom called me, and she's like, you need to come home right now. And I was like, what is going on? And she was like, there's a water moccasin in the tree. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so our house, like the front, the main floor was like, if you walked in from like the front, was the main floor was on the ground level. But the house was like built on like this. So when you walked on the main floor, from the back, it was on the second level, right? And the basement was on the ground level. And we were, you know, had woods and a creek, and there were snakes and stuff all over the place, you know? She was literally on our porch, which was not a screened-in porch. It was a part of the house. Like, it was brick. It was like white brick inside that was painted, like red brick that was painted white with like carpet. It was like a room that we called the porch, just because every wall was roll-out windows. But it was a room, and it was like literally 100 feet off the ground, and she's sitting out there watching TV or reading a book or something, I don't even remember, and she looks out, and a tree on the other side of the creek, probably 50 feet away from her, there's like this huge water moccasin hanging from the tree, and she's like losing her mind. You've got to come home! This water moccasin's gonna get... I was like, oh my God, my mother is crazy. And she hadn't been drinking. It wasn't that. It just, her fear. She was so fearful of things, right? So, you know, I dealt with that a lot when I was like growing up. But like when I was older, even when she got sober, she was fearful of things all the time. She was fearful of major roads. My mother, if it would take you 10 minutes to get somewhere by going like on a road like this, which is, well, I don't even know what you call this. She didn't call this a highway. I don't even know what you call it. She would literally take all back roads and go through like side streets and like suburbs to get there. Like from my aunt's house to my mom's house when we were growing up, like to get there on like the major road would take you like 15 minutes. My mom would go through all the housing additions the back way, and it would take her like 35 minutes because she was afraid of the main roads. She would never drive on interstate. She hated driving at night. She was a very fearful person. And I think it's also why she like stayed at home a lot. Now, when she got sober, some of that stuff went away because like she went to meetings at night. So, but she typically picked meetings that were close to her and that, you know, were like just up the street. I think 2 of her meetings were in Carmel that were on the north side that she went to, but like typically she went to meetings around her because she didn't like to leave her house at night. She was scared. She said, I can't see, I can't drive. Because my mom had real bad eyesight. She wore contacts and glasses her whole life. She used to wear those contacts when I was growing up that you had to like take out and treat and those things, you know? And then she had gas permeable ones for a while. And then I don't know what she wore towards the end of her life, but my mom had like hard lenses at one point. Do you guys remember that? I'm getting like texts, I don't know who it is. But anyway, so she, but if she took them out, she couldn't see. She could not see. My mom would be like, if I take my glasses out, I just can't, I'm almost blind. Like, she's like, I cannot see. Like, her glasses were so thick. And she'd say, I'm almost blind as a bat. I can't see, you know? And she really couldn't. I mean, she really could not see. I can remember, like, as a kid, like, looking through her glasses. This is before I had to have glasses. And I'd be like, oh, my God. Like, they were so thick, you know? Remember back in the day when people would call them, like, Coke bottle glasses? Like, that's literally how thick my mom's glasses were. And, so she would take her glasses, or she'd take her contacts out in the evening sometimes, and then this is why later in life the last thing that she would do is take her contacts out. But when I was growing up, I didn't know this till later, my mom would take her contacts out a lot of times before she like started getting intoxicated, because if she fell asleep and slept in like hard contacts, it could hurt your eyes like really bad, or you could damage the contacts. So she would take them out, I think, before she started, I think she told me that one time, before she started drinking or before she started getting intoxicated, because she was afraid that she'd forget and not take them. I mean, she wouldn't say, I took them out because I'm going to get intoxicated. She'd say, oh, I'm going to take them out now because if I fall asleep, I won't remember to take them out. Because it wasn't passing out, it was falling asleep, you know. But when she would sit there and watch a movie, and after she'd been drinking so much, she'd just walk over to her bed and go to sleep. But she had that, you know, when she was older too, that she was like really terrified of stuff and really scared. was telling someone this the other day. She had a cell phone that literally had like 2 numbers programmed into 3 numbers, like me, my aunt, and like 911 programmed into it. This flip phone. She would call it her cellular device. She'd say, like when she was sick at the end, she had it like plugged in across the room because she had all this other stuff plugged in next to her bed, like the lamp and some other stuff. And she'd say, is my cellular device plugged in? And I'd say, yeah, do you want it? And I'd go reach, don't unplug it. I need to make sure it's fully charged in case I need it. If there's an emergency, I need to make sure that my cellular device is fully charged. I'm like, mother, trust me, it's charged. It's been plugged in for 3 months. She never used it. Which is so funny because I can remember the number right now off the top of my head, but yeah, I can't remember the number. That's so funny. But anyway, and she never used it. And she'd always think like, you know, somebody was gonna get her and then she'd have to have that cellular device. Look at Taco Bell, my God, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, 9 people in line. That's crazy. Oh, that's all before the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people in line just to get to the menu. Can you even imagine? I don't need nachos Bel Grande that bad. My friend was texting me. I want to go over here and see what she's texting me. Dream. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten tonight. Now I'm hungry since I'm talking about Taco Bell. I'm vlogging early tonight. It's weird, isn't it? I wasn't going to, but I was like, well, I'm up and did my hair and everything like that. I wore sweat shorts to the meeting tonight because I can't fit into anything else. Alex went over to Sarah's to watch a movie, a scary movie, and I was gonna go over there, but I wonder what time the grocery store closes. Maybe I'll go into the Meijer and get something to eat. I was gonna go over to Sarah's too, but like when I got done and we were on our way home, Alex called and he was like, are you gonna come over here? And I was like, because I told him I was going to maybe, because Sarah had asked too, and I said, well, I'm just now taking Tanya home, or we had just like pulled into her driveway. She was gonna show me, she showed me the trailer for Wentworth, which looks so good. Have you guys seen it? Oh my God, it looks crazy. And so I'm looking at Meijer. I actually could do Taco Bell though, that kind of sounds good. Meijer. Hours. Why is it saying it's open 24 hours? Are they back to open 24 hours again? I don't think that's true. $12 a.m. Well, it's 10:45, so I guess I could go. If you guys watch Wentworth, you should like pull up the trailer on YouTube. It looks so good. What was I gonna say? Oh, so anyway, Alex asked me, he was like, maybe I will get Taco Bell on the way home. I know it's not healthy, but who cares? And I'll sit there and I'll watch the rest of, I still have not watched 13 Reasons Why. I need to get that done. I thought I hadn't finished Drag Showdown the other night, but then I went home and I was gonna watch it. And actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go by Meijer and I'm gonna see if they have this dip that I love, this street corn dip. And if they have it, then I could grab some new vegetables too to dip in my dill dip. If they have it, then I'll get it and I'll eat that. If they don't, then I'll get Taco Bell. And then we'll know if I'm supposed to eat healthy or not. I mean, that's not really super healthy, but... So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I was gonna go over to Sarah's because they're gonna watch some movie, but I said, just start it. I said, you guys watch it. I said, I can't, like, get over there in time, and I said, I think I'll just vlog now. So he's like, okay, you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. So, yeah. Dream. Well, maybe if I get this stuff done and I get something to eat and I go home and then I eat, well, I can finish 13 Reasons Why, then I can actually listen to some of The Night Stalker tonight. Because I really, really, really need to finish The Night Stalker, is what I need to do. And I have less than 5 hours to listen to. He actually just got arrested, is where I'm at in the book. So it's like 10 hours left, but I'm listening to it at 2 times speed now. I had to, because it's taking me I mean, this is the only book that I've read in June. I can't even believe it. Like, I haven't been this slow reading forever, so. And I really like it. I think it's really interesting. I mean, it's really a great true crime book, but it's very long, and there's tons and tons and tons of details. And the thing is, a lot of the details are about, like, just the different killings, his family, getting arrested, all of it. Like, the whole getting arrested part is, like, I didn't even know this. I don't know anything about him. There was, like, this, like, anyway, it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. I don't want to ruin it for anybody if you haven't read it. Oh, there's a Meyer right there. But I'm not going to go in that mire because I don't know her. I don't know her. I love that Mariah Carey quote, don't you? I don't know her. Who? I don't know her. I'm using my confetti cup for drinking water today. That's what I've been drinking all day, is water. Well, I got coffee. Here it is. I'll drink some of this because I still have, like, so much. Do you see how much I have left of it? But... oh, I need to get home. Well, I think maybe I'll just throw that up tomorrow and save it for tomorrow. Oh my God, I still haven't posted my vlog from tonight. That's what I need to do. I need to post my vlog from tonight. You guys, I had another day of, like, I thought last night, well, this vlog will go up early because I'm getting home early, but I thought I had started uploading it last night because I sat in the chair and I watched, oh my God. Oh, I'll tell you what I was watching in a second, but I was watching these videos on YouTube, right? While I was having some snacks before I went to bed. And while it was rendering, I was waiting for it to render. And then I went and put my stuff away and I put it up, and the computer's sitting right there plugged in for me to, like, because see, it has to render, like, put the movie together. Like, I have to put all the clips together, and then that usually takes like a half an hour to render, 20 to 30 minutes. And then I upload it to YouTube. And then now, because it takes 2 to 3 hours, yesterday's was like an hour and 30 minutes. But because it takes like 2 to 3 hours to upload, I just upload it while I'm asleep. Well, something is going on. I don't know why, but it's taking forever to upload. Like, if it says 20 minutes, it's not actually 20 minutes. It'll, like, if it says it's going to take 20 minutes to upload, it's not actually 20 minutes. It's actually like if it says 20, it's actually an hour. Stupid thing. Don't do this tonight to me. So, where am I at on time? So if it says 20 minutes, it's actually an hour, okay? Well, I started uploading it at like 2 o'clock today. And here we are. I left the house at 8 o'clock and it still said it had 32 minutes. So I don't know. It may not even be uploaded yet. But I was so upset that I didn't upload it overnight because I was like, here we go again. Have to upload it again. You know, so I have to sit here while it uploads for like 6 to 8 hours. I don't know why it's so slow. I have no idea. It never was like this in the past. I mean, 2 to 3 hours is a long time, but like, to like triple that time, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's why the vlog's not up yet. And I didn't get a review video up yet. Well, this is my day. So I get up and I'm getting stuff done around the house, taking the dogs out, let them run around forever. And then, our neighbor, they had their grandson and then their dog, who's like a puppy, and he was running around, and so our dogs were going crazy. It was like nuts. And so I brought Boo and Tucker inside, and they saw him on our patio, the dog, because the dog runs over to our patio. It's real hilarious. He's a cute dog. He's such a cute dog. He's like a basset hound. And so he was like coming up to the window and sniffing. I mean, he's a puppy. He's a puppy. He doesn't know any better, you know? And he comes up to the window and he's like sniffing and stuff, and it stopped. But anyway, they're like, so he's like coming up to the window, and you know, and he's just like looking at him, and they're like, "Arr!" They're like going crazy, like, let us out, let us out. But if I do, they just like go nuts around him. We get them together, like, so Alex had him out there with him yesterday, and but anyway, it's just funny. They're just funny dogs. And I was kind of just trying to like get stuff done at that point. So then I go to get my coffee. Here's my coffee. I go to get my coffee. And when I was there, I'd heard that there was an Impossible, Starbucks has an Impossible meat. Like, you know, I don't love the word meat, but anyway, I don't know why. It's on my list of words I can't stand. Along with juicy, Davenport, which is a couch from back in the day, panties, I don't know why. These are just words I don't like. Anyway. I make jokes about it on my other channels, because I say I don't like them used all in one word. But anyway, so I had heard that they have a new Impossible meat breakfast sandwich at Starbucks. So I asked him when I went through to get my coffee. I didn't have my camera with me. Well, I was going to Arby's to review these sweet potato fries. So I was getting ready to go do that, and I had, you know, like, I was going through there because I already knew that's what I was going to review. So they were like, oh yeah, we have it. And I was asking Josh, you know, Josh the barista, and his fiance, and had tried it that morning. So I was talking to Jacob and asking him what he thought about it. He was like, it's good, but it's kind of greasy. He was like, I was kind of surprised, but he's not a vegetarian. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try it tomorrow then. So I got home, and so then I was going to Arby's. I drove past Arby's, first of all, okay, because I thought I was going to the post office or something. I don't know. In my head, I was listening to music. I downloaded a bunch of ABBA. I was listening to Dancing Queen. I downloaded Dancing Queen. Not Mamma Mia. I don't like that song. Mamma Mia. It drives me nuts. I like I like it, but it's just, you know, I downloaded Dancing Queen, Super Trooper, and Waterloo. Waterloo. Da, 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 da. I like that song. Anyway, and so I was listening, I was like singing, I was like, Dancing Queen, while I was driving and stuff, and boom, just drive right by Arby's. There it go. And I passed it, like right after I passed, I was like, I was supposed to go to Arby's and review this. So as I'm turning around, I'm like going to pull out my camera to do the review, and I realized I didn't bring my camera with me. I was like, damn it, Janet. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get my camera, and then I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna do this review video. So I come back, I'm standing there, I'm talking to my neighbor, I'm like, it's getting late, I'm trying to make this meeting tonight, I still gotta feed the dogs, because Alex had a meeting right after work that he was going to, and then he was going straight from the meeting to Sarah. So I had to like feed the dogs, make sure that they got to go out, all that kind of stuff, right? So, I'm trying to get all that stuff done, so I was like, I'm just gonna make this like drama video now, which ended up being 32 minutes. I filmed this drama video, it was like long. And then I'm like, I gotta upload it from my phone, because if I upload it from the computer, it'll take me forever, like the vlog did. So I was like, I'm just gonna upload it from my phone. So I did that, and then I was gonna make a Peter Christmas video, but I was like trying to get the dog stuff done, and I was like, I can't, like, and I was washing this, I washed like 3 t-shirts and this pair of sweatshorts, and I was like, there's no, plus I also had to fold these blankets, because I washed all the blankets from the other night that we had used on the floor and stuff, because we have all those like faux fur blankets and stuff like that, and blankets that a couple of you have sent me that have like dog paws and stuff on them. Oh my god, the moon is so pretty. It's like one of those, you can see the whole moon. What's that called? Is that an eclipse? Some kind of eclipse? I don't think so. But you can see like the whole moon, but it's like a fingernail moon, you know? But anyway, so I was like, I'm not going to do a Peter Christmas video. I'm not going to do a BookTube video, whatever. And so while I was sitting there, it was taking my video a long time to upload on my phone. And I was like, okay, I don't want to drive all the way to Arby's without my phone, because it's literally like, you know, but I was like, I'm close to Starbucks, so I'll just drive up to Starbucks. It's like 10 minutes, you know, and then I'll do the review and just leave my phone at home. And then I'll just come right back and I'll review the sandwich. So I did that. the troubles of being a YouTuber. So I went and reviewed the Starbucks Impossible Meat breakfast sandwich, which was really good, actually. And I hadn't eaten, so I was hungry anyway. And I still haven't eaten since then. I only ate half of it. I don't think I even ate half of it. And so I get home and I'm like, the vlog still isn't done. The drama video is done. So I started putting it all together and I had to watch it back. And so I started rendering my review video. And then I was like, while I'm taking a shower, I will, upload it to YouTube. So get all that stuff done. I go up to take a shower, come out, you know, lotioning up, trying to like do my hair. So it looked kind of nice tonight. I mean, I don't look great, but I was trying to pull it together, you know? And, so I'm doing all this, and I had to pick up Tanya by 7:30, and it's like 10 after 7, and I go downstairs, and the vlog still has 32 minutes or something like that, or 19, I think I had 19 minutes when I was done. It was like moving so slow, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to get this up right now, so I was like, I'll just save this for when I get home. I'll upload it late again, and then I go over to do my review video, and I'm like in my videos, because it was like, it had finished processing, it was done. When I came downstairs, it was like at 99% processed, and then it just finished, like while I was sitting there. And so like, I'm like, you know, like, what do you call it, refreshing it, and it's not showing up in my videos, in my review page, and I'm like, where is it at? Well, I had uploaded it in another I don't even know how I did, I don't even know how this is possible. I uploaded it in another window. Such an idiot. I uploaded it to my drama channel. I was like, are you kidding me? So it was done, it was ready to go at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, but I had uploaded it on my Peter Monn channel. So I deleted off that, my Peter Monn drama channel. So I had to delete it off that, and then I had to, why does that look like Dunkin' Donuts has ice cream? They don't have ice cream, do they? I had to delete it off that, and then I had to start uploading it again, and I was like, well, it's not going to be done by the time I leave, obviously, because I'm leaving, like, in 5 minutes. So when I left, it had, like, 12 minutes, or I mean, 9 or 12 minutes, because it was uploading fast, because it was short. It was like a 11-minute, 12-minute video, I think. I think it was 11. So that was that. I don't get real upset about that stuff anymore. You know, back in the day, I don't know, this is a lot of what I've kind of worked on over the last couple years. You know, I used to allow myself to get so angry about stuff back in the day. You know, other situations I didn't have any control over, people that I didn't have any control over. Just, I really allowed myself to just get really just like worked up, and I just don't go there anymore. Are there things I'm passionate about? Absolutely. I can speak passionately about something, but I still feel very, you know, like, I realize that things are out of my control, and I've just kind of let that go. And there's a lot of peace and serenity that has come with that through the years for me. I mean, specifically the last 2 to 3 years that I've worked so hard on it with my sponsor, and like, you know, practicing peace on a daily basis, and practicing serenity, and doing inventory over myself, and realizing that what other people say, what other people do is not about me, that I can only focus on myself. I don't want to focus on other people anyway, so let them do their thing. You know, it's like, once I kind of let go of all of that, when stuff like this happens, but like, you know, 3 to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if like today had happened, I would have been like, well, I can't go to this meeting now because the video didn't get up and my whole night's ruined. And I, honest to God, I would have let something like that ruin my night, right? And so I was like, nope, just gonna go to my meeting. I'll get it up later. It is what, I mean, what can I do? I can't do anything about it. So I don't let it bother me, you know? And that's just kind of how I am today. I think I really wish I had learned that trick 20 years ago. I think that's probably one of the most, not trick, but ways of approaching the world. I think that's one of the most valuable tools that I have today, is not allowing myself to get worked up about stuff that just really doesn't matter. You know, it's like, what other people say about me is none of my business. You know, the situations that I can't control that are out of, that I feel like I need to, like, or I want to, or whatever stuff that happens. It's like, I can't cry over spilt milk. You know, my old sponsor used to always say that to me. He'd say, you know, you always want to, like, get upset about something that happened 10 seconds ago, but it's happened. You know, it's like the Oprah thing when she says, you know, acceptance or forgiveness is forgiveness is acceptance of what happened in the past. Like, okay, it happened, and it's not okay that it happened, but now what are you going to do about it? Like, because we live in today, we don't live in yesterday. We can't, you know. It's like, but what are you going to do about that today? And that doesn't mean that, you know, like, I love the recovery saying, you know, to the effect of, you know, we don't close the door on the past, nor do we regret it. You know, I don't regret my past because I've learned from it. I don't close my door on it and close the door on it and forget who I was. I need to be reminded of those things. You know, the good and the bad. Like, I don't want to forget the past and, you know, all of that. Like, I need to take a look at that. I need to do inventory on who I've been at different stages in my life to realize, you know, like, who I want to be going forward, I think. And not always just sitting and wallowing in it. That's not what I'm saying, you know, but like, I don't know. There was a part of me back in the day that would get very bent out of shape about a video not being able to get up, you know, you know, it's just like, and I would have allowed it to disrupt my peace and my serenity. My peace and my serenity is not a luxury for me today. I have to live there. I have to live in a state of peace. Stuff happens to me all the time that I don't have any control over. And there's a lot of things that happen in my personal life, you know, that like things that happen with my family or my friends that I never talk about in any videos, any vlogs or whatever. And that's not because I'm hiding it from you. It's just because they're really personal things, you know, that I never talk about on here, that I've applied those things to too. You know, I only have so much control over what happens in the world, and really it's just what I do and how I respond or react to something. I don't have a whole lot of control over that, you know? And like Peter of yesteryear would have gotten so angry and been out of shape about stuff, you know? It was like I was talking to a friend of mine today about something, and she was real upset about it. I said, just let it go. Like, why do you care? Like, you know, it's just like, she's like, I'm kind of surprised you're saying that. I was like, I just don't care. I said, I don't have the emotional investment to care in something that doesn't affect me that deeply anymore anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I have people around me that love me and care about me. Those are the people that I spend my time and my energy on. You know, I'm not going to spend my time and energy. It's you know, it's just that. When you get to a point in your life where you work really, really hard on waking up and being peaceful, and that doesn't mean that you just ignore stuff when it happens. That means you approach it from a point of view of what tools you have in your life. When stuff happens in my life today, I pick up the phone, I call my sponsor. You know, I say, I don't know how to handle this situation, what should I do? And she gives me suggestions, you know? Or I call other people in my life, or I sit down and I inventory it, and I evaluate, you know, who I was in that situation, or what's happened to me, or why I feel like, you know, what happened wasn't fair, or something's going on, and then I look at my part in that. This is all from sobriety. I look at my part in that, and I look at what I can do and what I can't do. And a lot of times I look at something and I realize, well, I have a part in it, and I can fix this because it's my part, but past that, I don't have a part in this. You know, and there's only so much that I can do, and then I just need to leave it to God, which I believe in, and the universe to do what's going to happen. And, you know, and sure, like, it doesn't always go my way, but when you work really hard, like I was saying, you know, sure, it doesn't always go my way, but sometimes it turns out nice. You know, there are a lot of good days in there in between, and, you know, and that's where it for me is, like, on the simple days, the nice days, the great days. Like, I have to remember, like, life, that's how life is good, and be reminded of that. And that's why, you know, I used to say on here all the time, I'm so content today. Well, there were many, many days, many months that I was not content, you know, that I was raging inside and not a happy person, and I was miserable, and I see it in other people today, you know, like, I see when people lash out that it's like they're really miserable and upset, and I'm like, I can't live there, you know. And people are always like, well, you have a drama channel, blah, 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 whatever. I do have a drama channel, and I can have an opinion, and I can even get heated about my opinion, but I kind of turn that off. Like, when I turn the camera off, I'm kind of like, I don't live there, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. It's like, okay, so it's like it's like ETV. It's like, you know, Oh shoot, are you kidding me? Road closed to through traffic. Well, I came all this way to go to Meyer, and now it's road closed to through traffic, so I guess I'll have to go back the way I came. But it's like, you know, ouch. I watch that show. I don't know what it's called. Alex watches it, so I watch it with him sometimes. And I think people really don't understand this. Like, they think that, like, you know, like drama channels, and I guess I can only speak for myself or like other people that I know, but that like we like 24 hours a day, like, you know, eat and breathe this stuff, you know? And I don't. And it's like I watch that show. I can't think of it. It's with that Morgan girl from the Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. And I like her. And then there's like, anyway, there's like 3 of them on the show. There's like a guy and a girl in there. And so like they'll talk about, you know, Kardashian breakups or a fight that somebody, I mean, they're drama channels on TV. That's what they are, you know? And we get a bad rap, I think, sometimes because, you know, people watch us and they're like, you're coming for my favorite person, blah, blah, blah. But when it's on like an international level, you know, like on TV and people are watching it, they don't, you know, take it so personally, I think. But I'm very much like that. It's like, I don't believe that those people like get off there when the filming's done. You know, they've been filming from home during COVID, and it's like, I don't think they turn it off and then it's like 3 hours later, they're like ate up with it, you know? And I can, you know, and they do get heated at times talking about stuff. And it's like, that's fine. You know, you can do that. You can be passionate about what you love. I love talking about YouTubers. I enjoy it, you know, like, and like, it's interesting to me, you know? It's like, much of it is to me, like reading celebrity magazines or watching these shows that I like to watch, you know? I guess I'll go this way. Why not? And so, but like I can still live in a place of peace and serenity and turn it off. And I, you know, I know that there are people that can do that, and that's fine. But for me, it's not that. Like, I turn it off and I sing "Dancing Queen" by ABBA, you know, or watch Titanic videos, which I did last night. Like, I just, you know. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to rip out my, you know, ring light if something happens. Just like these people on TV wouldn't, like, get on TV live if something, you know, major had happened. They would, you know, they would talk about it. So, once you start living and you meditate on a daily basis, and I just mean deep thought or living in silence for a few minutes every day, and you, like, whatever you do, whatever it is your thing. For me, it's prayer, it's daily affirmations, it's gratitude lists. You know, mine are like verbal, oral gratitude lists, like not oral, but like in my head, you know, like mental gratitude lists that I make now, sitting in quiet and silence. I like the word silence better. Sitting in silence, you know, like outside with nature, you know, really simplifying my life about my dogs and my husband and my home and my best friend and what's important to me. And once you kind of break it all down and you start living from this place of peace and serenity, what you realize is, yes, stuff is going to continue to happen, and it's going to continue to happen to you, and it's going to continue to happen in the world, and you deal with it when it comes up. But at the same time, it's like, it's not a luxury for me. I have to have that. Like, I don't know how I lived for so long in this kind of like frenzied state, you know, like I did for much of my life. I don't know if many people out there relate to that or if you did too, but it was like, I don't know, I spent a lot of my years in my 20s just kind of like that, like, just, it was just, you know, it's always like something, and it just was a lot. And I'm a person that's kind of hyped up anyway, you know, like, I mean, I think you probably know that by now. It's like, you know, once I kind of get up for the day and I've brushed my teeth and washed my face and thrown in some deodorant and whatever, I'm kind of like up, and I'm like, I mean, even before I've had any coffee, you know, caffeine actually kind of slows me down sometimes because I'm so ADHD, but I mean, I love when people come on my videos and they're like, do you think you might have ADHD? I'm like, do you think? But, you know, like, and to me today, I try to turn it into an asset, you know, and work on it and try to apply it to things like, you know, be a multitasker and also take a breath and slow down. That's like tonight, like I couldn't get those videos up. And I mean, there was a moment where, because Tanya had said, if you can't make it, just let me know, like, you know, be a half an hour in advance. And I was like, okay. I said, I'm trying to get these videos up. And I thought, okay, this is right before I went to go jump in the shower. And I was like, well, I don't know if these videos are going to be able to get done in time. And I thought, you need to go to a meeting. You need to go hang out with your best friend. this stuff can wait, you know, like, yes, you love doing it, but like, you need to go be with your friends, you need to be with the people that like give you peace and serenity and that are your family to you, you know, your family of choice. And it was great. And I, you know, walked out of there tonight and I felt like so spiritually just, I don't know, I just felt so spiritual. I don't even know how to explain it. I felt like of the soul, you know, like we stood outside and we like all were standing distance from each other, you know, and it was so nice. It just was like, God, I miss this. I needed this, you know. I don't take that stuff for granted today, and I'm glad. I mean, the first thing I said to Tanya when we got in the, well, after we dropped off our friend, because we were talking about her stuff on the way home and some stories that she was sharing with us, but like after that, we were driving out of our neighborhood. I said to Tanya, I said, thank you tonight for, because I didn't think she would want to go, and she was like, I want to go tonight and see how it is. And she goes, but if we get there and they aren't wearing masks, I don't want to go in. And we walked in with our masks on, and everybody, I mean, literally everybody had a mask on. Actually, like this guy that came in after me, he like came in and he like got his chair and like sat like 10 feet away. We were in the like kind of towards the back of the room, and we were, because it was all spread out through this whole like, you know, area. And he like ran back outside because he didn't have a mask on. He ran back outside after he got his chair, and he like went and got his mask and came back in. So like literally everybody did. And you know, we didn't hold hands. We didn't even do this. Like at the end of the meeting, we just like stood there and said the prayer, and it was so nice, you know. And I said to Tanya on our way home, I said, thank you for tonight. Like, and she was like, oh, no problem, babe. And then we were telling each other that we love each other because we don't tell each other that enough. I was like, I love you. And she was like, I love you too. And I was like, I don't think we tell each other that enough. She's like, yeah, I don't think we do either. It's like, maybe we need to hear it a little bit more every once in a while, you know? And I agree. You know, and it's like talking about the peace and serenity. It's stuff still gets to me. You know, it does. It's not like I'm a perfect example of that. I'm just not. And self-created stuff still happens, you know? Like, that's the worst, isn't it? I mean, when something happens in your life that's like a tragedy, well, I mean, that makes sense that you would be upset about it. And then, like, if something else happens, like somebody else does something, well, that would make sense. But when it's self-created, that's the worst, isn't it? Because you're like, who else do you look at but yourself in the mirror, you know? Excuse me, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, it is what it is. I used to say that all the time. I don't even know what it is, what that means anymore. It is what it is. But, I'll tell you, nights like this sure do help. I posted on my Twitter because Tanya wanted to get a fountain pop, so I had my water and this coffee, so I was like, you go in, I don't need a fountain pop. I've got, you know, I hadn't been drinking, I was drinking the water because I felt kind of jittery. I think I drank my coffee too fast. I feel like I just got bit by a bunch of mosquitoes in here or something. I don't know why there would be mosquitoes in here. Maybe it was standing outside in the parking lot, but, so I took her to the gas station. She went and got a fountain pop and came out. Here's what I need to be doing, running. This person's like running out here. That's what I need to be doing. So anyway, and, so she went inside to get a fountain pop, and I was sitting in the parking lot, and the moon was so beautiful over this like church steeple and trees. So I took a picture of it. I couldn't get the church steeple in it, but it was just real pretty, and I took a picture of it and put it on my Twitter. And I said, this is such a beautiful night. It is such a beautiful night. And I do notice that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love rainstorms and snowstorms and all that kind of stuff, you know, colder weather with leaves falling and Halloween. I love all of that. I love the seasons changing. But at the same time, like, God, a beautiful summer night. I mean, it's 65, but it's nice. A beautiful summer night is, it's really nice, isn't it? I was gonna say something to contend with, but does that even make sense? It's beautiful, you know? It makes it easier to be happy and peaceful and serene on a night like this. It was so hard, you know, like, I'm sure, like, for all of us, you know, I'm sure most of you out there that couldn't leave, and, you know, I talked about this with, you know, like the COVID. It was like, God, being stuck inside, and it's raining, and, you know what I mean? It's like hard. so nice seeing everybody. One of my friends tonight, he hadn't been there since January instead of 2019. He goes, you know, I haven't been here since January of 2019. And he goes, it just means so much to, like, see everybody. And he was like, when I walked in here tonight, he was like, you know, I kind of like realized this is home. And I was telling Johnny, I was like, this is how I felt. Like, I'm home, you know? I know there's a lot of people in sobriety that watch my videos, and I know there's a lot of you out there that have family members or spouses or kids or whatever in sobriety, or that you hope that they will get one day, or you hope that you will for yourself one day. Don't ever give up, you know? Don't ever give up on the idea that someone that you love may get sober, or that you may get sober. You know, that's why I talk about it, because I want to put that out there, that it can happen for any of us. And I truly, truly believe that. I think I'm gonna end the vlog early tonight. So I'm gonna do like a short vlog at an hour, because I'm at like 25 minutes and 38 seconds. So I'm gonna 37, 38, whatever, I don't know where I'm at. But I'm gonna end it early tonight so I can get something to eat and go home and kind of enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm gonna go home and eat and take the dogs out and get the vlog up. So I'm gonna end this early tonight while I'm gonna go past Meyer and come back while I'm ending it. So anyway, if you guys made it this far in the vlog, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I'll make a longer vlog tomorrow, I promise. I've been saying that I'm gonna make it short and I don't. So anyway, if you made it this far in the video, or if you made it this far in the vlog, if you made it this far in the vlog, thank you so much for watching. If you didn't, thank you for watching it too, but you don't know. And if you like this vlog, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that like button and make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel, or if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel and to all of my other channels. I'd really appreciate it. Please, I hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday. Is it tomorrow Wednesday? Happy Hump Day. Hope you're having an amazing, happy Hump Day. I hope you're having an amazing Wednesday, unless you have other plans, but like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun. Do something exciting. Start a new book. Start a new movie or TV show or something like that. Catch up on Wentworth, because it's coming back with a bang, with a serious, very good, looks like season coming up. I think it's going to come out in August or September on Netflix. And yeah, and do something that will make yourself proud today when you look back on it, whether that's tomorrow, you know, do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it tomorrow, or the next day, or next week, or next month, or next year, or 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 60 years from now, 69 years from now, family friendly, or 80 years from now, or 88 years from now, or 100 years, or 110 years from now. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I do. I love you. Make sure that you look at your... I know it sounds corny, but I do. I love you. Thank you for watching my videos, and it's been really nice to get to know some of you through watching my videos and the comments that you leave, and, you know, other ways that we've talked, you know, in DMs and messages and emails and things like that. So anyway, but make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single night before you go to bed. Is it every single night first? Every single morning when you get up, make sure that you look at yourself in the bed. Every morning when you get up, make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, and at least one positive affirmation like, you are valuable. And every night before you go to bed, make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror and you say to yourself, I love you, and at least one positive affirmation like, you are valuable. But you can do 5, you can do 10 positive affirmations, whatever they are. Just make sure that they're positive affirmations. They can also be things that you want to believe about yourself, and keep on saying them until you believe them to be true. And what else? Every night before you go to bed, look in the mirror and say to yourself, or just say it out loud, tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. I'm gonna be happy, joyous, and free all day tomorrow. I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna spend time with my friends and family, I'm gonna spend some time alone, you know, I'm gonna eat good food, I'm gonna have great opportunities come my way all day tomorrow, and have positive experiences all day tomorrow. And if my day gets off track, well, I can start my day over whenever I want. And when you get up tomorrow, make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror or say it out loud. Today is going to be an amazing day. I'm gonna be happy, joyous, and free all day today. I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna laugh, and I'm gonna cry if I need to, and I'm gonna hang out with my friends and family, or talk to them on the phone, and I'm gonna spend some great time alone, and great opportunities are gonna come my way, and positive experiences are gonna happen to me all day long. And if my day gets off track, well, I can start my day over whenever I want. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody today and let them know how much they mean to you. Just reach out to them and say, hey, I was thinking of you, I love you, I hope you're doing well, or just, hey, how are you? Haven't talked to you in a while. And also practice random acts of kindness, but like I always say, don't don't tell anyone, just do it because it's the right thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. We could all put some positivity and love and kindness out there in the world. I know I could do a better job of it. So yeah, just make the world a nicer, better, more positive, loving, kind place. And I think that's it. So I love you guys. I hope you're having an amazing Wednesday. Like I said, I love you. I will be here. I'll be back here tomorrow. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.